This is a very, very obnoxious thing which stands out. And according to to my understanding, there are certain habits which have their imprint on the flesh and blood of the animals. There is some causative factor lying there somewhere. So such factors could be transferred through consumption of their flesh. So this could be one. You become sort of man-eaters. When you eat pigs, you don't care for the poor human beings who are like you, who belong to the same species. You can draw their blood and transfer it through blood transfusion to the richer people without the slightest, pang of conscience. Now, it does not mean that you actually begin to eat, but this carelessness toward the human problems can develop. If Africa is dying of hunger and other countries are rich enough to support them to at least somehow survive that very critical period, they would not, for other reasons, economic reasons, other problems, that if we dumped our extra meat or butter into Africa, any country of Africa, then the economy here will be imbalanced. I don't want to go into detail, but this is exactly the debate which I heard during this period, that they have some purpose of this, to keep it mounting, kept here. And America had its own limitations in helping Abyssinia during those days of very severe drought and consequent famine. The country had run dry of its food and water, etc. And America would not help because it was a communist country. The communists could not help because they did not have extra food to transport there. Europe would not help because they said that they had two excuses instead. They said the transportation is difficult and the cost of sending food wherever it's needed would be very high. So it was permitted to die and starve to death. These are the considerations which do creep into human calculations and attitudes. But I'm talking of the flesh of swine. What I mean to say is, you don't find cannibalism develop in human beings among the flesh eaters, among the swine eaters, but carelessness to human problems and relationship is at least witnessed. Somebody may say it's because of different causes, but one may also say because this is only an area of judging and guessing what might have been the significance. So I'm just putting forward a guess. I may be right, may be wrong, but my being right cannot be ruled out. You see. The second thing is homosexuality. Homosexuality is one habit which runs wild in this animal. Of all the animals, this stands out in this habit of being homosexual. And those countries where pig eating is general, is permitted, there you find least objection against homosexuality, until a time reaches when openly one can say they should be given equal rights in the army, in the church, and here and there, and there is no harm. So when they say there is no harm, this is the harm done to them, that they see no harm in a habit which is contradiction of nature and evolution. Sex developed for a purpose and with a purpose. And purposeless enjoyment from sex is not the design of nature. They are even going, the scientists who are homosexuals, they're delving deeper into the genes and characters and trying to prove that it is genetic. Why it is not genetic in certain societies belonging to certain other religions? Why this genetic onslaught on your society alone? So this is all just mere excuses to support a certain tendency which has become grown out of their control now. And why Sodom and Gomorrah? Why were they destroyed? What was the message? The obvious message was that sex was provided to human beings or all animals for the survival of the species. If you use it only for the concomitant pleasure, then you deny the need for the survival, practically. And you misuse a provision by nature, and Allah will not let it go unpunished, that sort of thing. It happened in the case of Sodom and Gomorrah, but it doesn't seem to happen now. But it is happening, people don't see. The sex-related diseases which have become fatal are now casting shadows over nations which has not yet to shower death upon them, has yet started to shower death upon them, because the ultimate result of the hidden potential HIV positive cases lingers on even for 9 years. And once the suitable climate is available, which Allah knows how it will be done, then it can become so deadly a disease, such deadly a punishment for mankind as a whole, that even nations will die almost entirely. Like Uganda is already being we have Ahmadi doctors working there, and we know this is right, that in certain areas of Uganda they call it slim. The medical opinion is that almost everybody is now HIV positive, and it's only a matter of time that you will hear the whole area being completely wiped out of humans. So this is not without any significance, this thing, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I think it's time, isn't it? How do you know? Acha. All right, time is over.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you so much for coming, and it's a pleasure meeting you. And
MTA International, reaching the corners of the earth.